Taurus, this is your week ahead tarot card reading by Born Without Boundaries Tarot. This is a message for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign, Taurus energy. So if you're called to this and you're not a Taurus birthday and you don't know any of your Taurus placements, there could still be some Taurus placements in your natal or progressed chart that are being triggered right now. And for whatever reason, this message has found you. So it is your message and it comes to you at just the right time. And this is where your message begins. So there's something that you're being called to put your whole self into, or you're being warned that you've given too much of yourself to it. Now, usually that would be turkey in reverse. Turkey spirit is, think of what turkeys give us on Thanksgiving, right? The sense of they make the ultimate sacrifice. So there's something here where you are making the ultimate sacrifice and you have put your entire self in. Usually upright, it's calling for you to do this. It's like give your whole self over to this, Taurus, because it's sort of like all in or all out, or you feel like you've been put in that situation where you've got to go all in. Either way, there's this energy of giving without expectation. So let's get into the rest of the message. Taurus, remember that as I divide this deck, there are going to be cards that fall out. I'm going to leave them where they lay. And that's just part of the message. If you're looking for a personal message because there's something really nagging at you and you need a deep dive into it, I do provide those. There's a lot of different services I offer on my website, so please check that out at www.bornwithoutboundariestarot.com. And you can book and schedule at your own pace, at your own time. Whatever the case, I will get back to you within 24 hours with your message of whatever time you booked. If you haven't yet, if you've just discovered the channel, Taurus, please go ahead and subscribe, and then ring that notification bell and select all notifications. That way you'll get notified when I go live and do free public tarot card readings here, if you'd like to join in. Okay. Okay, you're going to hear a ringing because I'm going to cleanse the energy with a sound bowl. Okay, let's just give it one more shuffle. There's a lot on the table. Taurus. Taurus. Sweet results await. This is in the past, though. It doesn't mean that it's over with. It just means that there was a high point, or there was something in your past that showed you if you worked really hard that you would get a lot of goodness, and there was a lot of sweetness in the past. That's not a problem. That's actually wonderful. The only issue with this kind of energy could be, is there comparison, right? Is there a sense of, well, then I have to have those same results, or I have to turn out the same kind of results that I've always turned out, or that I have to match that. And you kind of separate, Taurus. You don't have to compare yourself to what you've done or what you did. You have to just sort of be where you are right now. But it seems like you're going hard. This sense of, I want to put myself all in because I want it to be what it was. Red flag. Want it to be what all it can be for what it is right now. What it was is sort of in the past. There's got to have sweetness now, to experience this same kind of success or sweetness now. There is a sense of put all yourself and all your focus into what you're doing or who you're with now. Now let's get into this energy. Life is speeding up. We have antelope spirit. So things are starting to come together. You're starting to figure them out. You're starting to get the information that you need to put everything together, to make sense of things. And that could be that actual information is coming in, that you're learning, that you're growing, that you're getting the information that you need. But you can see this energy, it's Gemini energy, is that it's like a wind-up toy. Like things are starting to make sense so that they can move forward. And that's actually really, really good, right? Just this sense of, you've got, at least intellectually or academically, you've got to grapple on things to understand how to proceed or how to push forward. And then we have a time to heal. So there's a lot of purging that has to happen from the toxins in your life. A sense of healing is essential for you right now, or what you're going to have to go through in the coming week or in the coming month. And then take a leap of faith to know that it's going to be okay. So there is some pain or struggle that you're dealing with that can make moving forward more frightening or a little bit more difficult. And what the universe is saying is, let's rally around Taurus. Let's cheer you on, because there's this energy of take a leap of faith, that twist in your stomach, that grind in your stomach, that upset, it's just going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it because everything you want is on the other side of fear. And then we have now is a lucky time, which is prosperity, abundance, and fertility. This sense of multiplying, or multiplying and lay a solid foundation, which means that there is quality here. Now is a lucky time, especially when laying a solid foundation. It's almost like it's a fortunate time because now you know how to lay a solid foundation, or now you can be sure of yourself, or know exactly what counts, what matters, what doesn't. You know what you want to construct, and you have the resources to do it. Now is a lucky time to lay a solid foundation, that you're going to have the opportunity to do so and have that clarity about what doesn't serve you. So, Taurus, what we're going to do now is get into the 7-day play-by-play. It may unfold in 7 days. Let's see how it unfolds. These are just the steps in which it unfolds. I'm going to start with how everything ends up, how everything finishes up. Okay. I mean, I'm going to say it's looking good. It just seems like there has to be this shift almost in the way that you perceive what's good and what's not, because goodness here is coming in the form of personal validation, because you've been able to struggle and face the sad times and the scary times and the hardships. Whereas in the past, it just seems like there was this milk and honey kind of energy of, everything is like just glorious and wonderful. You're starting to see the glorious and the wonderful in the struggle and what that does for you and for your character. So what is all this about? Just clue us into what these shifts are, why we've kicked things into high gear. Okay, so there was a a devotion. Maybe there's a fire sign that you're dealing with. It could be a person that you're dealing with, but things were kind of stuck because you didn't know how they felt or what their feelings were. Or this is like creative endeavors, right? This could also represent just a singular focus on where you want to move in the future, and knowing how to put your time and energy and effort into it, but kind of being stuck, or and being stuck, or just learning and taking time to sort of rest and learn. Could have been over the past year, feeling like you just kind of hung up. It's not that your passion has died, but there's just this sense of, okay, but which way am I going? What, maybe even looking at your passion or what you love to do in a different way, and being a little bit confused, and things being ambiguous, and really not understanding, because we have the moon card here, right? Which adds a lot of questions. It's kind of that nebulous energy of, but I'm not sure, I'm not certain, the way isn't clear, and maybe almost like a little bit delusional or confusing, like not knowing which direction to go. The power of the moon card, however, is in understanding. Once you understand that the nebulous means you make it into anything you want, and that you are the mastermind of creativity, and believing in your dreams. But this could mean also getting lost in your dreams and not understanding or knowing, well, what do I do with this energy? So let's ask the cards that question. What, for Taurus's sake, what should they do with this energy? We have Four of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. Four of Wands is find your tribe and go slow. Find your tribe and devote yourself to them, and slow and steady wins the race. It could also mean, for right now, take your joy and happiness in day by day, in the pedantic work. And if it's not making you happy, or you're not surrounded by people who really fulfill you and teach you things, it's not about pleasure. It's about finding people who encourage your slow and steady growth. And that's really what you need in your life right now. This isn't big money energy. It's slow and steady capacity to commit yourself to building something, which, Taurus, really you're all about. Day 2, let's see. Day 2, step 2, where are we headed? Okay, so we have starting something new, beginning, or being naive, and just, this could be fuckboy energy. It's like it really could. It could be a new passion. It's a new attraction to something. It's being stimulated and being curious, and maybe in some ways finding that you love a lot of different things, and that you're attracted to more than what you thought you were. And even though you may think that this is a distraction, it's not. You need to follow your heart in whatever direction. You need to encourage yourself to follow your heart, because your heart is, it's not your feelings, not your emotions. It's your purpose in life, right? Your heart is your guidance system on your path through life. And so ultimately this is a new fire or a new spark that you've all of a sudden like become obsessed with or become really attracted to. And it could be a person that you've all of a sudden become obsessed with or become attracted to, right? There's just that energy of full on, full in, can't get this out of my mind kind of energy. Believe me, Taurus, I get it. I sympathize with you. What about day 3? Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands, which is stand your ground, trying to hold your standards, trying to not settle, but also being disappointed because maybe you're disappointing yourself. Maybe you feel you've disappointed yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you actually have disappointed anybody else, or that there is actually something you should be disappointed in, but it means like you're struggling somehow against this sense of disappointment. Maybe somebody's disappointed you, or simply just the feeling of you're letting yourself down. You're struggling against it, Maybe you're struggling against disappointing a maternal figure, a mother figure, whether she's even if she's passed, this sense of, I'm letting this person down because or it doesn't even have to be a mother figure, just somebody who is extremely abundant, right? Or that bread and honey feeling of, you have this image in your mind of what my expectations are, and I'm struggling and I'm fighting, but I'm always disappointing whoever, especially this is a who, especially this is a person, this would be somebody who is very successful, somebody who seems like they have it all together, somebody who is lovely and generous. They're a good person in your life, but it's like, I want to live up to their expectations of me. And you could be at any stage in your life. You could be 55 and feeling like, why can't I have the relationship my parents had? Why aren't I making money? When my mom was my age, she was already a CEO. It's that kind of energy of putting pressure on yourself because you don't feel like you're living up to certain standards. And that's what's going to break shit. That's what's going to break shit because you're not the same person, right? And maybe there's a shocker that's coming in to make you realize, oh, maybe this person wasn't doing as well. Like we hold these, it's not that they're bad, right? But it's like we hold people on these pedestals. We hold these situations on these pedestals. We don't realize that we don't know the whole story. Right? So the information coming in could really just be, Taurus, to clarify what the real story is, in the sense of, oh, mom wasn't actually a CEO by the time she was 24 years old. It actually took her to the time she was 44. I thought she was working a great job, but I was born when she was 36. So by the time I became aware of her and what she did, she was already in her 40s, right? And maybe I just thought she was so much younger because she looked younger. I remember her as younger. You're starting to become aware that this ideal from the past was really more made up in your mind than based in reality. And you're putting too much pressure on yourself based on this it's not that it's not necessarily eventually true, but it's like we only see the Hollywood true story, like the 2-hour sizzle reel of a situation, instead of all the hard work that came behind it. And really, I think what you need to do right now to be fair to yourself is learn what the real truth was behind it. Okay, so this is day 4. This is day 4. We have now the Knight of Wands, a decision to move forward and singularly follow your passions. Maybe even that means move, carry forward, or understand that part of pursuing your passions is the trials and the tribulations. This could also be a decision that a sense of something is moving forward because you are passionate about it, or deciding to move forward with something because you are passionate about it, or because it's sexy to you, because it's attractive to you. And ultimately, that's not a bad choice. It's a direction in your life that you have to take right now. And I don't think it's necessarily bad. There might be some spontaneity here. There might be some impulsivity, but I think that you're working your way through. 6 of Swords implies that you're taking this energy of the stresses, the stressors, or the situations that bothered you from the past, that you're sort of taking action on it and running with it and moving forward. It could actually be changing directions. 6 of Cups, this is day 5, implies nostalgia. It implies dreaminess. It implies hopefulness. It implies innocence. It implies sweetness. It implies maybe somebody from the past or a connectivity to home. Well, there was some sort of defeat here. Once again, this is that idealistic image of the past being defeated or being attacked or not working out, and having to accept that, having to accept the reality of the situation and still making something work, even though the reality didn't end up being half as great as the dream, right? And it never is, because in our dreams, we have total control. And in reality, we do not. There's things like gravity and inertia in reality, right? Things don't move as fast. We have to compete with other people's wants and desires. Not necessarily compete, but we have to contend with them. We have to navigate them. We have to improvise. So it's almost like making the best out of a situation that is not as ideal as you thought it was, and making a decision to be resourceful and finding a deeper understanding of your talents and skills with what you have to work with now. I always said this because my early career was graphic designer and web designer. And I always said this, I never had to be so creative as when I had these strict, requirements from a client. You know, it's like, you just never know how malleable your mind can be until you're working within a box. Like, you have to figure out how to make a box look like a sphere. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just never know how creative you can be until you're kind of put into this situation where you can't do whatever you want. You don't have all the resources that you used to have. You know, it's like, it's not dream world anymore. You can't, when you dream it, you can morph into different times and go night and day in a second, but you know, night and day doesn't fade in a second. You know, it's not, you can't push time when you're in reality. So this is a sense of really kind of honing in your true talent and your true skills in a not so perfect situation. Taurus. There's judgment here. There's resurrection here. You're doing a great job here. There's being selected or being chosen here after you kind of stood the test and stood up to, like, you didn't let yourself quit. And this is all by the end of this week. So what's the judgment card telling us? I've got to get to the 7th day, but we got to pull a moon card. What is this judgment here? What is this clarity? I don't know, but you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy that you held out. Let's put it this way, like, do not give up, because it is time for cleverness here, Taurus. Let's see what's going on under the surface. We can really understand that with these moonology cards. Ooh, there's a new moon coming up. It's a new moon in Libra. A new start is coming. So yeah, this is a new kind of mindset. Right? And then we have be bold and make the first move, cardinal moon, and a new start is coming. You want it. You're attracted to it, them, whatever it is. Maybe you're being called to try something and you're worried about disappointing somebody. There's nobody that you can disappoint in this situation. I'm going to tell you without a doubt, the universe is saying, go for it. Try it. Try it. See how it works. This is just another leg of your journey. And I know that the instability factor gets to you as a Taurus. Any fixed sign it's going to get to. But ultimately, Taurus, as long as you're not off the path of your purpose, you really aren't. This is really maybe just a change of location, you know, or a change of partner or whatever. It's not a change of your purpose. Co-create. An observer and co-create. So once again, new moon, you're looking at that new moon to start something new, and you're going to start something new with somebody. Let's get deeper into that while we go over to the extended. I'll see you there. The link is down below in the description box. I've also pinned it to the top of the comment section for your convenience, or you can just head on over to my Vimeo channel, Born Without Boundaries Tarot on Vimeo. I will see you guys there.